What is the best-selling red pill book of all time? Can you guess what it is? It was, and still is, and will continue to be, the Holy Bible. The Bible, okay? This was, and will always be the best-selling red pill book of all time. Even if you're a non-believer, you cannot deny the red pill truths that are in the Bible. Okay? Some very, very hardcore, harsh red pill truths that were written thousands of years ago. So it's not like this just came out like, the last 20 years. I mean, this was written thousands of years ago. This is why they call it the Holy Scriptures, right? It was written so long ago, and it still holds meaning today. It's the most loved book. It's the most hated book. It's the most popular book, and it's the best-selling book of all time. You can literally spend the next few years reading the Holy Bible and pull just insane amounts of wisdom out of it. This book is just so big, and the fonts are usually really small because they have to fit it in this book. Imagine if they made like 12-point font size like you do in most normal books. I mean, this thing would be like an encyclopedia, but it's just filled with unending amounts of wisdom, knowledge, enlightenment, philosophy that can transform your life, transform the way you see things, take you out of fantasy land and into reality, right? And again, this book was not written, recently. This book was written thousands of years ago. I believe the oldest written Bible that they found was, I want to say it was like over 3,000 years old. Okay, might have been like 3,700 years old. And astonishingly, as many writers as the Bible has had, right, over the centuries, the tone and the message has been the same. Just like the thousands of biblical prophecies that have been fulfilled and that have come true, almost to astonishing accuracy, is insane. Okay, and you can do your own independent research on this. The amount of biblical prophecies that have come true is almost frighteningly astonishing because of the level of accuracy that these have come true. And there's thousands of them. Okay, and this is not even including the prophecies about Jesus that were fulfilled. And this is a book that, I've kind of drawn more excerpts from as of recent, especially when it comes to women, when it comes to dating, on the type of woman you should be looking for, the type of women to avoid. The Bible gives you clear instructions, and it doesn't hold back. There's none of this like political correctness, trying to filter the wording or trying to filter the message. No, it's very clear what it is. It's very clear what it says. It's very clear what it tells you to do. And I remember growing up Catholic, they used to say, I used to go like, what does Bible stand for? And they would tell me, Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth. So remember that, basic instructions before leaving Earth. It's like a manual for how to live your life. It's like God gave you a instruction manual to help you, to guide you, to lead you, to keep you from falling astray, to keep you from falling to anything that was bad for you, anything that would hurt you, anything that was not good for you, right? It's all in this book. And of course, you're going to have like haters and people who are non-believers or people who just want to attack Christianity, which is like becoming a trend these days. It's always been a trend, especially on some of these platforms, right? They just attack anything that's Christian, anything that has to do with Christianity, they're going to attack. But in this book, it basically gives you all of the instructions you need and more. They're going to cherry pick certain excerpts, like, what about the part where you stoned your child? What about that? And it's like, okay, you have to understand the time this was written. It's like taking like the most brilliant pieces of artwork or the most well-written books in history, and you could find tons. I mean, you could look at, like, say, the Da Vinci Code, or any book that is highly praised, especially by leftists or liberals, and you could pick apart those books like crazy, even more so than they can pick apart the Bible. You could pick apart those books and easily cherry pick and go, hey, what about this? This is totally contradictory. This totally doesn't make sense. And it's like, yeah, I understand that, but you have to understand the entire message. Even in the Bible, it says, basically, I'm probably going to butcher this, only children of God who have the light of God, have the sight of God, can understand the meaning of God. That makes sense? I feel like I worded that just perfectly almost. Almost like the Spirit of God just here with me. Basically, when you have the light of God, you can see what the meanings are, and you don't molest them like so many leftists do. They try to molest the Word of God, or they try to twist it into their own. And this is why I'm not a fan of a lot of these New Age type churches, especially ones where, like, like a female priest. I'm like, dude, are you kidding? That's like an abomination. That's not the order of God. You're violating what was said in the scriptures as far as the order of man, God before man before woman, woman before child. Yeah, a lot of these new ageist type churches that are praising like new ageist philosophy. And I grew up in San Francisco, so we had a lot of these charlatans back then. They would basically take excerpts from the Bible, and then they would kind of twist the meaning into their own and almost like create a cult. Yeah, they would create a cult, actually. I still see that going on today. This is kind of why, too, you guys asked me about like Eckhart Tolle. I don't really follow that, like the New Earth, his book. Yeah, he's a great writer, but again, he's basically doing what a lot of these charlatans did that I saw growing up on Haight-Ashbury, where they were doing a lot of this like New Ageist type philosophy that sounds good on paper, but really is just kind of like a twistification and almost like a plagiarism of the Bible. Make no mistake about it, the Bible is the most read pill book on the planet. It is completely unfiltered, unapologetic, in your face, and telling you exactly what you need to do. And the funny thing is, this manual has been around your entire life, right? Unless you've been around over 3,700 years, this instruction manual has been in your hands, been available to you from the moment you were born. Okay? From the moment you were born. And there's just so much wisdom in it, so much knowledge. There's no way this book could be written today. Right? There's no way. This is what makes this book even more precious. Beyond being the most popular, the most famous, the best-selling, the most loved, the most hated, the book with the most fulfilled prophecies ever that you just can't deny, the most spiritual, the most enigmatic, the most, esoteric, the most philosophical. I've drawn a lot of knowledge from it. And, it's funny thing is this book has been available to me my entire adult life. Even though like we would read this in class, because I went to a Catholic school pretty much my entire childhood. I went to Catholic school. We would read this in class, and I would remember these verses that we would read, but I didn't understand them until I got older. Now that I'm older, I'm beginning to understand them more and more, which is why I always tell people I'm on my own spiritual journey, right? When people are like, hi, you know what? Pickup artists, you're supposed to be a Catholic. What are you doing? And I tell people, A, you're not to judge. It says that in the Bible. You are not to judge another man. Forget the chapter. It's not coming to me off the top of my head, but it was in Matthew. Surprisingly, Matthew. Oh, FYI, I was named after a saint. My name is Matt, but my full name is Matthew. I stopped going by that around 6th grade or maybe 5th grade. I stopped going by Matthew just because whenever I get in trouble, our nun who who was like the principal of the school, Sister Rose, yeah, I think it was Sister Rose, she would be like, Matthew, it would always say my name like that. So I didn't hear my name like that. When I got in 6th grade, I was like, I'm just going to start going by Matt, get a fresh start. But originally, on my birth certificate, it's Matthew, named after a saint, and that is a chapter also where it says not to judge another man. So that's what I try not to do as well. I don't like judging other people. I don't like calling people out by name, even if I disagree with them. That would make me a hypocrite, right? Because I have my own faults, and I don't like to do that, right? I just, we're all flawed, right? As humans, we're all flawed. We're not perfect. None of us are. Only God is perfect. So we're all flawed. And So this is why I don't like to do that. I don't like to judge other men. This is why I don't do these like videos where I call somebody else out and I just, tear them apart, because that's something you do not only when you're in your feminine frame, but that is something that is not holy. It's just not biblical. It means you're a hypocrite, because it's like you're failing to see your own faults. You're not looking in the mirror. You're not seeing that shit, you're not anything special either, right? You have your own faults, and maybe you should work on that, which is why I always advise you guys, like, focus on yourself. But yeah, I always get people going like, oh, pickup artist, huh? So I hit them with that, like, yeah, you're not supposed to judge. And you know what? Beyond that, I'm on my own spiritual journey, right? Which I am. I always say that. I'm on my own spiritual journey, and we are all on our own spiritual journey, and hopefully becoming closer to God. You guys have actually asked me, what is the most red pill book on the planet? Isn't it this guy, this red pill author? He'd been writing these books, and you know what? He looks kind of funky and kind of looks like those troll dolls, but with glasses and a beanie. Isn't he the red pill book bestseller? No, dude, no. No, it's not any red pill author. It's not any pickup or game book. It's really no author that you'll find on Amazon. The best-selling red pill book of all time that is filled with the most wisdom, the most priceless philosophies that you're ever going to learn the most from is the Bible. I'm saying that now. Okay, it's the Bible. So that is probably the best. And again, it's like when you don't have the light of God in you and the ability to really decipher the meaning of what God has instilled in those books, you're gonna cherry pick, and you're gonna do what a lot of these leftists do, which is they just kind of like try to tear it apart, like, oh, this excerpt here talking about like stone your child and then do this and all this. And yeah, obviously, right, you're gonna have to use your own judgment even with the Bible. And you know what, maybe God put those things in there too as a test to see who his real followers were and who his fake followers are, right? Who can't determine right from wrong, who can't see what an abomination is, or who can't tell like what is true and what is not. So again, it comes back to you having the wisdom, the knowledge, and the light of God within you. The Bible has been in your life your entire life, all right, since birth, since you came out of the womb. Your parents had access to the Bible. Your grandfather had access to the Bible. Your great-grandfather had access to the Bible. The question is, did they pick it up, right? And the question for you is, will you pick it up? Will you draw wisdom from it? It's a coaching video that I felt like I had to do, right? But that's basically what the Bible is, and it's an instruction manual for how to live your life. Remember that? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. It spells Bible. It kind of reminds me almost of you guys who are part of my generation. You remember this TV show called The Greatest American Hero? Who remembers that TV show? Drop that comment below. Remember The Greatest American Hero? William Catt played the superhero in that. But basically, the synopsis of this show was he was in the middle of the desert with Bill Maxwell, who was an FBI agent. So they were in the middle of the desert. They were stuck there in their car, and they couldn't move. All the electronics shut off, and then out of the sky comes this UFO. Crazy, right? Out of the sky comes this UFO, and they come upon the top of their car. They give him a suit. It's basically a super suit that only works on him. Okay, so they basically give him a super suit in the TV show, Greatest American Hero. So basically he becomes a superhero, but only when he puts on this suit. So the powers are attached to the suit and not the guy. And that's something that Stephen Cannell, the writer of The Greatest American Hero, wanted. He wanted the powers in the suit and not the guy. That's the synopsis of this TV show. This UFO comes down, gives him this suit, and along with the suit, the UFO gives him an instruction manual. Okay, so they give him an instruction manual for how to operate the suit, how to fly, how to use the special powers, how to do all these crazy things that the suit can do, that he is unaware of, that he has the power to do within the suit. But this jackass, right, as they're leaving the desert, he's leaving the desert, he loses the instruction manual. So he lost the instruction manual and he has this super suit. So now basically that became the theme of the show, was like, The entire show was about him trying to figure out, not only like stop crimes, but really figure out how the suit works. In every episode, it seemed like he was discovering new special powers that the suit had. He was constantly in the dark about what powers the suit had, like how many more powers or what else he could do with the suit. He was constantly in the dark, and he could barely even fly with the suit. He was always flying like very awkwardly and just off balance, and it was almost kind of annoying for the viewer because it's just like, how come he just can't fly straight? He didn't know how. All he had was a suit, and he didn't have the instruction manual. So he was constantly in the dark, and basically that was the gag of the whole TV show series, was like they were constantly discovering new powers that the suit had. He found out like how to go invisible by holding his breath, just things like that. And you know, he'd be able to like kind of telepathically start a fire like from one end of the room to another by like just imagining a fire starting. So the suit had all these powers that, I mean, he really was not aware of. He was kind of stumbling upon by accident because he didn't have this instruction manual. And that always kind of reminded me of the Holy Bible. It's like without this instruction manual, you're kind of lost. You don't know what to do with your life, and you're kind of going in 10 different directions all the time. And you don't really feel you're on your path or purpose, or you're doing what you're supposed to be doing here. Without the instruction manual for his suit, he was lost and in the dark and really didn't know how many more powers this suit held, right? Just like with the Bible, like the more knowledge you gain from it, the more powerful you feel. The more wisdom you gain, the more enlightenment you gain, the more stillness you gain, the more solidity you gain, the more non-reactiveness you gain. Because you gain social empathy for your fellow brothers. You understand why they're acting out, why they're angry, why they might be jealous, and you just gain social empathy, you know, to the point you even feel sorry for them, right? You gain all sorts of wisdom from this red pill book called the Holy Bible, the best-selling book of all time, the most red pill book you'll ever come across in your life. Highly recommend you read it. Even if you're a non-believer, can't disagree with me on this. Feel free to drop your comments below. It might get a little heated because you got people who are believers and then people who are non-believers who will comment. So let's just try to keep it respectful. We're all one tribe here, right? All one tribe. I don't want to divide you guys. We're all one. We're all one here. We're all just trying to help men. We're just trying to become better men. We're all on the same path and purpose here, all on our own spiritual journey. So I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is Matt Cross from AlphaMaleSecrets, signing out from the top floor of my hotel, sitting here in this Matrix style chair that kind of looks like what Morpheus sat in the Matrix. Signing out. Until next time, don't forget to smash that like button below. Go ahead and smash it right now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Helps me out a ton when you actually subscribe, so please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Helps me with the YouTube algorithm. So make sure you're subscribed. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content I'm teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets channel, which I'm hosting on a private platform. And the reason I'm doing that is to protect my premium Alpha Male content from YouTube in the event that they try to shut us down one day, which they might. But all of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets content will be protected, and you will always have access to them for as long as you are a member. Okay? And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium AlphaMaleSecrets coaching lessons from me, so take advantage of it. That is the absolute best way to support my work and everything I'm teaching you guys here on my channel, so I would greatly appreciate it if you become a premium subscriber of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets channel. And all you need to do to sign up is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.